Hello, you're watching Shalom World News. I'm Dana Villa coming to you from Chicago, USA. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. According to a report by the New York Times, the Chinese Communist Party is now providing a host of benefits to married couples, encouraging them to have more children. They include tax and housing credits, educational advantages, and even cash awards. Couples are being encouraged to have more than one baby, preferably 3, in an effort to increase China's population and expand the country's shrinking labor force. Single women and minorities are discriminated against the struggle to receive any of the social benefits like medical insurance and education. Despite Chinese officials offering many attractive incentives, the nation's birth rate continues to steadily decline as rising costs are deterring couples from having more children. This is the aftermath of the one-child policy introduced in the 80s. For many years, forced abortions and sterilizations of women were implemented as a part of this stringent policy. Pope Francis has given a message to young people taking part in the ongoing European Union Youth Conference. The conference began in the Czech Republic's capital, Prague, on July 11. In this message, the pontiff urged young men and women to become the new face of Europe. He told them as young Europeans that they have an important mission to present the world with a renewed face of the continent. The Pope said that it was imperative, as in the past their ancestors went to other continents not always for noble interest. He also exhorted them to work towards the excellence at the same time in a considerate and welcoming way. Pope Francis also urged the youth to protect the environment and read his encyclical Laudato Si, published in 2015. The Catholic prelates of both Sudan and South Sudan have issued a collective statement regarding the recent visit of the Vatican Secretary of State to South Sudan's capital, Juba. In their statement, the bishop said that the visit of Cardinal Parolin was encouraging for the people of God in both nations to remain vigilant and keep their hopes high for the visit of Pope Francis to South Sudan. They said the visit marked a historic moment, and they expressed gratitude to various stakeholders for the success of the July 5th through July 8th trip. As the Holy Father himself could not make the trip, he had delegated Cardinal Parolin to make the visit to South Sudan. He arrived in the capital Juba on July 5th to convey the papal message of peace and to hold prayers for reconciliation and healing of past differences. Ahead of U.S. President Joe Biden's proposed visit to Israel, the West Bank, and Saudi Arabia from July 13th through the 16th, the World Council of Churches, or WCC, has appealed to Biden to respond to the voices of the churches in the Holy Land. The WCC has alleged that the churches there are enduring violence and discrimination and the threat of Israeli expansion activities. Such factors have led to the displacement of Palestinians, including Christians. The appeal to the president was made in a letter signed by the acting General Secretary of WCC, Reverend Yohan Soka. The acting head of the council urged the president to help end the discrimination and restore hope for a, quote, just peace, end quote, in the region. He also exhorted people of all goodwill to recognize Jerusalem as holy to the 3 Abrahamic faiths. In Mexico, the Secretary General of the Episcopal Conference has responded to the president's stinging criticism of the Catholic Church. Bishop Ramon Castro said on July 9th that in response to President Andres Lopez Obrador's criticism that the church is hypocritical, he would list out the church's interventions for peace. On June 30, President Obrador lashed out against the church, urging it to fulfill its mission first. Bishop Castro said that since 1968, the Mexican Bishops' Conference has published 116 documents expressing concern over the situation in the country. The latest document was issued a few days ago, calling for a national day of prayer for peace on July 10. The president lashed out at the church after being miffed by priests, bishops, and cardinals who have criticized his policy to tackle organized crime. India's first National March for Life will be held in the capital, New Delhi, on August 10th. The event, organized by CARES India, will take place from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. local time. The 1.5-mile prayer walk will start from Jantar Mantar, which is a historic landmark. The march will end with a Holy Mass at the Sacred Heart Cathedral, which is expected to be presided over by Delhi Archbishop Anil Koto. Thereafter, various pro-life organizations from all over India will be holding an exhibition at the hall on the premises of the cathedral. Several prelates will be part of the event. The organizers hope that the National March for Life will spark a pan-India movement that unites people to champion the right to life of the unborn. They ultimately want the repeal of the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act, or MTP Act, of 1971, which legalized abortion. According to estimates, more than 15.5 million unborn babies are slaughtered in the womb through abortion in India every year. The Episcopal Conference of Nicaragua has called for the faithful to take part in the upcoming National Marian Congress, which will be held during the conclusion of the pilgrimage of the image of the Pilgrim Virgin of Fatima for over 30 months in the country. The Congress carries the motto, quote, "Mary, Mother of Hope, whoever trusts in Mary will never feel disappointed," end quote. The event will kickstart on August 10 with a preparatory Triduum, encompassing days of reparation, Eucharistic adoration, Marian reflections, and penitential liturgies. On August 13, when the Congress begins, a Holy Mass will be held in Managua Cathedral with the delegates from various dioceses. Representatives of each diocese will come with a replica of the Pilgrim Virgin. On August 15, the Feast of the Assumption is the concluding day of the Congress. Holy Mass will be celebrated in each diocese, and the image of the Pilgrim Virgin will be enthroned. Condemning the surging abortion rates in South Korea, Auxiliary Bishop Linus Lee Seong-seo of Sowon Diocese has urged lawmakers to rethink the existing abortion policy in the Asian country and to engage in dialogue for change after the U.S. Roe v. Wade reversal. In an interview with the Catholic Peace and Broadcasting Corporation, the prelate insisted that the U.S. Supreme Court ruling is a clarion call for the nation to change its abortion policy. The fetus has never violated a woman's right to self-determination, said Bishop Lee. He also added that life is innate and is a dignity that no one can invade through any ideology. Bishop Lee also chairs the Committee for Life of the Korean Bishops' Conference. The prelate further stated that no matter the age of the fetus, the Catholic Church vehemently opposes abortion. He also called on politicians to consider changing the current abortion policy in the country. The South Korean government decriminalized abortion up to the 14th week of pregnancy in 2021. The Vatican has announced the beatification of St. John Paul I, which will be held on Sunday, September 4th this year. Pope Francis will preside over the Holy Mass at St. Peter's Square for the beatification ceremony of Papa Luciani, who is known as the Smiling Pope. Born Albino Luciani, Pope John Paul I headed the Catholic Church for just 33 days, the shortest pontificate in modern history. The Holy See Press Office stated that during the beatification, the team of postulators will gift the Holy Father a reliquary containing the relics of the new blessed. On the eve of his beatification, the Vicar General for the Diocese of Rome, Cardinal Angelo De Donatis, will lead a prayer vigil at the Basilica of St. John Lateran. It was in this basilica housing the chair of the Bishop of Rome that Pope Paul I took possession of on September 23, 1978. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us tomorrow. In the meantime, you can visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.